Hello, my crafty friends. It's Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and today is day 13 of the Countdown to Christmas card series, and the theme for today is Shaker Card. So I am taking this stamp set from Hero Arts, layering stamp set for this tree, these Distress Oxide inks, and some chunky glitter from Ranger, I believe. And so I'm just going to take my Misty and my card panel. I will take my foam mat out and add in the waffle flower grip mat to help me keep my cardstock in place. I do set it in a certain section on here where you can see the lines. That way, if it does shift at all, I'm able to line it back up. And I'm just going to take this first layer, and if I'd have left it right here, I would have had room for the star, but I opted to move it up a little bit. So in the end, I didn't have room to put the star on the tree, but you could fit it in on a standard A2 size card panel, this is slightly smaller than A2 size, but it would definitely work if I had shifted it down just a little bit. So I am using Bundled Sage for my first layer, and I will stamp that a couple of times to make sure that I get a good impression. And so I usually struggle with layering stamp sets to make sure that I get them lined up and looking nice. And this one was actually very easy to line up and get all of the layers stamped on. I'm actually following the suggestion on the back of the packaging to make this entire card. I made my panel using that sample on the back of the packaging. If I were to do it over again and reproduce this card, I would add some stenciling using a cloud die or a cloud stencil on the back just so that it's not so stark white. I do like how this turns out because it is kind of a snowy scene, so the white works out well, but I think I would add some blue into the background with some clouds if I were to do it again. So I'm just lining up the second stamp from the stamp set, and I'm going to use Rustic Wilderness for this. And again, I will stamp this a couple of times, and this just gives it some depth to the tree. I really do like this stamp set. I will be using it again for sure. I recently purchased some things from Hero Arts, and I'd never I had like one stamp set, I think, from them, but I have gotten a few more things, and I'm really enjoying using them. So next I'm going to add on the tree trunk, and then from there I will add on the bulbs. So I use a brown ink for this, and I'm not positive of which one it is. And then I will use a red lumberjack plaid for the Christmas ornaments that you can add on. So as I'm doing that, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about this card series. I have joined Michelle from Scrap Secrets. She every year does a Countdown to Christmas series, and last year I joined her for one video, and this year we were chatting, talking about how we need motivation to create content for our channels, and she's like, well, do you want to join me for the entire series this year? And so I was like, yes, I need the motivation to get some content out, and I love making Christmas cards. So we randomized the ideas that we had and came up with a schedule of projects that we were going to do. So we have been putting out videos on Mondays and Fridays. There are giveaways for this series. We each have intro videos that explain all of that. We have each added in the possibility of additional giveaways if we reach a certain number of subscribers. For me, if I can get to 800, I will add in another giveaway. Michelle has added another one, and if she gets to 750, she will add yet another one. So make sure you're commenting and subscribing to our channels. The more you comment, the more chances you have to win. I am doing a gift card and then I think another package of physical product for my second giveaway, as long as I can reach the 800. I'm not far off, so hopefully I can get there before we're done the series and exceed it would be the goal. So now I'm just putting on the animals now that I have the tree complete. And so these are silhouette stamps. So I am going to stamp them using the VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. I will stamp them a couple of times. These are new stamps that I have never used, and they're very solid. So I just wanted to make sure that I got a really good impression with them. And again, the placement was based on what the package was suggesting. I toyed with where to put the sentiment on the front of the panel because I am going to make this a full panel shaker card. So once I get the scene built, that's what I'm going to move on to. but I couldn't decide right here. I'm just trying it out, and I was like, no, I don't feel like I want to take away from the scene on the front. So I am going to get my shaker panel made. So I'm just taking some double-sided adhesive and some clear packaging. This is just recycled material from a stamp set or a stencil or something that I've received that I saved the packaging and have trimmed it down. So I will peel off the backing of my double-sided tape, adhere one side, add another strip of double-sided tape on the other side, and continue around until I have 3 sides completely sealed up. You want to leave the 4th one so that you can put your elements in. You could do embellishments from, I have a lot of shaker mixes, you know, with different sequins and different things, but this time around I went for just like a snow effect. This is just a very flat but chunky glitter. If I look at the packaging and see what it's actually called, I will add it into the description box below. But I just add a good amount of this, sprinkle it into the top, make sure it moves around that I like, because it was kind of clumped there at the top, so I just kind of opened it and shook it around so it was a little more flat. And then I will add my last strip of double-sided adhesive to seal up the top of this so that nothing falls out. And then I have been going around and trimming the corners where there is some excess bulk, just so those don't poke out in the front and everything lays flat. And then I will add another layer of double-sided adhesive around all 4 sides, and then some strips in the middle so that I can adhere this to my A2 size card panel. But before I adhere it to my panel, I am going to put the entire card base into my MISTI and stamp my sentiment. So just getting that. Of course, you got to shake it a couple more times to make sure. And I wanted to see where the snow landed, you know, on the animals, if I had filled it too full or if it worked out, and I think it was okay. You can still see them all peeking over the top of the snow line, if you will. So I'm just going to get this panel in here, and I chose to use the Rustic Wilderness to stamp my sentiment. I do stamp it a couple of times, and this says Happy Holidays. I could have gone with any of the colors. I think the Lumberjack Plaid would have looked nice as well to tie in some of the red, but I have been on a green kick for this series, so I stuck with that. Again, I stamped it twice and then set it aside for a smidge. I didn't give it enough chance to dry, but amazingly enough, I did not smear it because I had sense once I pulled my double-sided adhesive off of my panel, I flipped the card and left it open. So I think if I had shut it right now when I went to add the front panel on, I would have smeared the ink into the other side of the card panel, so I would have had a ghosting on that left-hand side of that card. So I was smart enough not to do that. So I left it open and did this. So once I get this adhered down, that is going to finish my card for today. I hope that you will check out Michelle's video. I will link that in the description box below, and I will also have the playlist at the end of this so you can catch up on any videos that you've missed. As always, I hope that you have a great day.